The movie Only You, released in 1994. An oldie but a goodie? Question mark? Let's see. Okay, so this movie starts off with them playing with the Ouija board. I just want to say I rebuke that energy. I am highly favored by God, but they were playing with it. Our main character and her friend Alex, they were playing with the Ouija board, and she's asking what will her future man be like. And the Ouija board is like, his name is Damon. And she's like, okay. Fast forward, she goes to the fair with her homegirls. They're playing on the rides or whatever. The boys taunting them from the Ferris wheel. She's like, all right, I'm going to go meet this fortune lady. She goes meets the fortune lady. She's talking to the fortune lady, right? Her and the fortune lady's looking at her crystal ball. She like, oh my gosh, girl, your man, your future man, his name starts with a D. Wait, David, no. His name is Damon. So this kind of sticks with the main character. Like, she's like, okay, so his name is Damon. And she kind of holds on to this even into her adult life. Like, it's actually kind of pathetic if you think about it. But we're not going to think about it like that. But she holds on to it. So she's, fast forward, she's an adult now. She is a teacher. And she still hang out with her homegirls. And it's very much wine and pizza and stuff like that. But she's still holding on to this guy named Damon that she was supposed to get married to. And while they're drinking and, sipping their wine, she reveals our main character, Faith, which is crazy. She was using a Ouija board in the beginning of the movie. But anyway, she reveals that she's getting engaged. She hasn't given an official answer, but she's basically like, yeah, we gonna get married. I already told my parents. I already told everybody. And she just told her homegirl. She's like, yeah, we're gonna get married. But you could tell that she's kind of like distant from the idea. Her fiance's name is Dwayne. And as you remember, her man's name is supposed to be Damien. From the lady in the tent to the Ouija board, they said his name's Damien. And I think she's kind of holding on to that. And now, like me, while I'm watching the movie, I'm like, oh gosh, this girl is hopelessly romantic. But, it's good. It's good. Period. Slay. Do what you want, But she kind of seems like she kind of don't want to get married almost. Like she's hesitant about it, even though from what you can tell now, her man is perfectly okay. I take that back. He is not perfect. They're at this party, at this event, basically where her fiance has to show himself as being, good, affluent or whatever. And he's asking her for a favor. Can you do this for me? She's like, yeah, I can do it, but you could have let me know sooner. And he's kind of like dismissing it. He trying to be like, hey, let's focus on this. And it's just like, you could have told her what the heck she had to do. But this is the part that really gets me mad. They taking pictures of her, right? He said, now you look perfect. He was moving her hair out of her style. And the style eats. I love her short hair. It's really cute. But he moved it out the way. And she said, now you're perfect. It's just like the insinuation that she didn't look good before. I didn't appreciate that. One of Faith's homegirls' name is Katie. They've been friends since they were kids. And matter of fact, she was at the carnival trip with Katie. And she says something along the lines of, it doesn't matter about a guy is he can get a brain later, something around the lines of that. And that stuck out to me. But now that they're older, Katie is the one who's married or whatever, and she gets a phone call while she's hanging out with her homegirls while they're sipping wine and eating pizza, like I said earlier. She gets a phone call. It's from Larry. Larry is Faith's brother, and he's basically trying to force her to, from her girls' day out, he's like, come back home, make the sandwiches for me and my homeboys to have poker. First off, you're the one who offered to have poker at their house while she's gone. Who's going to make the food? Because it's not going to be me, especially when Katie's the one who's out. She's having fun. She didn't even plan the event. Katie's not even going to have fun at the poker night. Why is she making the sandwiches? Please, miss me with that. Miss me with that. So basically, what we're getting from this is that Katie's very unhappy with her marriage. And also, let me add this on. We see that Faith is very, very lover girl. And then we also get to see that Katie is the opposite. It's like all the lover girl has been sucked out of her. It's like it's complete, like it's dried up and gone. Now, Faith is trying on. Whoa, why did I look at the camera like that? Anyway, that was scary. Okay. Oh gosh, I'm doing it. Ooh, what is that, brother? Ooh. Okay. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Faith's trying on her wedding dress or whatever, and Katie's there, and she's like, "Ooh, that dress kind of ugly." And Faith's like, you kind of right." And Katie's getting ready to open up about this to Faith, but then they get a phone call interrupting her, and Faith is like, "Let me go get the phone call." Here's my problem with that, girl. You don't think that phone call could have waited just a little bit? Just a little bit. But instead she interrupts Katie's spill session to answer this phone call. This phone call is from a guy named Damien. The same Damien that she heard about ever since she was little, that was the man she was supposed to marry. She started freaking out, and she's like pure ready to throw her ring off right then and there. I'm like, dang, girl, you don't even know him like that. You just like, oh, it was just an extreme reaction. I was like, oh, don't forget you're getting engaged, girlfriend. But anyway, now they're traveling all over Italy. They check into their hotel. It's looking real cute, real fun, and everything's looking nice. And side note, y'all, her pixie cut eats down. Like, I don't know. Faith's pixie cut is actually amazing. After after searching for Damon Bradley, they decide, hey, we're gonna go to Rome, and boom, they start driving in this red car. Side note, love the car. The car is super cute, but they're kind of like getting confused. But eventually, they make it to this beautiful vineyard that's in this country-like area. At that pit stop, Kate reveals that she believes that Faith's brother is stepping out on their relationship. And this leaves, Kate obviously distraught. She starts crying, but Faith reassures her, and then boom, they back to business. Stopping at this store, they ask for Damon Brad. What the heck was I just doing? Anyway, in this store, they ask for Damon Bradley. And the woman there, she's like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, but she speaks only Italian. So she goes over and she asks for the man who speaks English. The man who speaks English is like, oh yeah, he's at da 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 da. But Kate seems extra interested in what he has to say, if you understand what I'm saying. And, by the end, he's like, oh, thank you for coming, or whatever the heck he's saying. And he grabs her hand and he kisses it. And it's really romantical, and she's kind of lingering. And then Faith is like, girl, we gotta go. Like, my actual man is waiting on me. And we're just here. So let's go. Faith ends up coming to this restaurant, and let me tell you, I love the dress. I love the red, the deep ruby red, and the sweetheart neckline, the red lip, the red blush. She ate down and devoured the tiny earrings paired with that pixie cut. Yeah, nobody else was seeing her when it came to that restaurant. And another ramble about fashion. I just want to say that Kate's outfit is just as cute. Like, I love the little sheer number at the top of her shoulders. Like, it's so cute. And it just really suits their vibes equally well and really encapsulate who they are. It shows really how, to go a little bit more in depth, it shows how Faith is like vibrant. She's still full of love and she still has hope in it. Versus with Kate, she's just kind of like in mourning of love because she knows her husband is cheating on her. Faith, after finding out where he is, she decides to have the confidence to go and talk to him. And then she turns the corner after they don't drop this plate and she sees, hold on, he ain't even here. He's not even here. She starts panicking. She's like, Kate, 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 Kate. Something's going wrong. Then she starts going on this goose chase out of the restaurant. And in the hallway, well, I'm not going to say the hallway. So what would that be called? That would be called the street. While walking the streets as a future bride, she bumps into a man, but it's not any man. It's Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr., aka, I actually don't know if he's the guy yet or not. So let's see. And very dramatically, she's running away and she shoves him, as I said before, and she ends up leaving one of her red shoes in the ground. And this just proves to me more why her outfit was so cute. It just was so classy and elegant because the shoe even goes with the whole fit. Like, I'm not trying to make this a fashion video, but I'm just loving it. As he's trying to catch up with her, she stops by this like sort of show. I'm not particularly cultured enough to know what show is performing, but it looks like a play of some kind. Then we go back to Kate, and she's looking at Faith, and she's like, "Faith, girl, where did you go?" Because she just ran off into the middle of the street and had Kate all worried. Like, honestly, I'd be kind of mad at her because, like, girl, why were you running these streets like a maniac? But, Faith is overwhelmed because she's like, I was supposed to meet this guy and he's just not here at all. And she's walking around with one shoe on until Iron Man shows up to give her her other shoe in her moment of distress. And he even decides to put it back on her foot. And it seems like earlier she had said, I want him to notice me first. And it seems like while he's putting on the shoe, he is noticing her. Faith being so frantic and stuff, she just kind of like dismisses him. She's like, okay, are you done? Like, I got other stuff to do. And she's just super busy. And then Kate ends up telling him about her whole thing, the reasons why she's so agitated. Now she's talking. Now, he goes up and talks to her, and he's like, "So, what's the name of the mystery guy?" And she's like, "Damon Bradley. I think it's Bradley. Have I been saying Laney? Y'all, I don't know what's happening anymore. But Damon Bradley, and he said, "I'm Damon Bradley," and then this girl ended up fainting. Like, girl, it's never that serious. She's so dramatic, but I can love it in like the best way possible. Later into the night, they end up walking down the streets of Rome or Italy. I'm not sure where they're at anymore. I'm confused. But they're walking, they're getting all flustered. They're all awkward. And mind you, this woman is over here flirting with him aggressively. Whole time, she is a fiance. She's about to get married to, I think, was it his cousin or his best friend? Somebody related to him. And she's over here flirting, like she about to risk it all. Like she literally every time she look at him, she's like, "I'm about to fall over." Like, girl, stand up, stand up. You couldn't have at least gotten rid of your original man, your fiance. Like, this is getting a little bit too messy for me. Then boom, they end up walking back to his place. First off, I don't know why she did that. That wasn't the smart thing to do, but they end up going back to his place. They end up kissing and stuff. But he ends up telling her, "Hey, I'm not Damon Bradley. My name's Peter." And she gets so pissed off, like she runs out the apartment or whatever. And fast forward, the next day, she's getting ready to go ahead and leave Italy because she's like, "I actually got to go to my actual wedding and find the actual guy because like this dude's over here wasting my time." Whole time, this dude is talking about he's actually like really in love with her, which is insane. Mind you guys, they haven't even been hanging out for like the past week. Hasn't even been like a summer to the point. You know how some people fall in love over this? It won't even that. It was not even 3 hours of knowing each other. He's like, "She's the one. She's the one." That's beyond me, but to each their own. But he goes on to further explain why, like how he's not even really supposed to be in Greece right now, and how it's just like absolute luck that he was here. And when he saw her, he was like, "Oh, that's the one." So he's just like, "I gotta get her." So he brought all those flowers. But the only person who's there is Kate. And Kate, she has officially lost faith in all that type of stuff. And she's just like, "Are you lying?" And not gonna lie, I'd be the same way. Then after that conversation, Giovanni comes and he's like, "Kate, let's go talk." And Kate's like, "Yeah," because she's not feeling her husband or whatever. And they're just talking and stuff. Kate's feeling really fulfilled by Giovanni. And then Faith, she wants to go home. She's like, I literally want to go home. And Peter, he's over here. He's writing down his notebook. Faith, 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 faith. That would scare the mess out of me. Like, this is 3 steps away from being a thriller, but that's besides the point. Anyway, Faith ends up storming out because she knows that Kate is talking to Giovanni, and she's like, "I ain't got nothing to do. We're about to go take this taxi back home." But then she sees Peter, and Peter's like, "Please stay." And she's like, "No, you lied." And then they went inside the taxi, but Peter stops the taxi. He's like, you guys. He has a specific route. He referring to Damon. Damon has a specific route that he goes on. Is that his name? Well, I'll just say Bradley. Bradley goes on this specific route whenever he comes here. And they're like, "Okay, we're going to get back out the taxi." Faith, Peter, and Giovanni all go to this specific hotel and to find him. And, they go to the pool deck, and Faith is all excited. She's like, "Oh my gosh, here he is." And then she looks at him and she's like, "Oh, this ain't it." But turns out it was actually another guy in the water, and it's exactly who she imagined Damon Bradley to be. Peter's pissed or whatever. Now we're flashing forward to the apartment because, Faith had asked Damon Bradley to go on a date, and Damon agreed. But at this point, I'm kind of getting like I don't know, self-centered vibes from Damon Bradley. I personally just like, I don't know how to feel him out because obviously he's already a ladies' man, you know, the typical stereotypical type of thing. Now, from this date, they decide to go to a boat. This boat coincidentally has Peter on it, and also with Kate and Giovanni. Kate and Giovanni get very, very close over this little weekend, and they share their first kiss. But Kate's like, I'm gonna nip that in the bud because at the end of the day, I am married, and you're in Italy, and I'm from America. This probably isn't gonna work. She didn't say that out loud, but that's basically what she was getting at, and she was like, this has to end here. And flashback to Miss Faith and Damon Bradley, allegedly. They're talking. She's trying to get to know his interests or whatever, but he keeps on touching her, and she's like, please stop touching me. And he's like, no. So that obviously caused a problem. And you know, Peter has been eavesdropping on them the whole time. Peter comes up and he punches him in the face, and they're fighting and they're tussling. And you know, Faith is like, oh my gosh, you guys stop. You know, the typical thing. And then he's like, da 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 da. And it basically reveals that Peter hired this guy to pretend to be Damon Bradley. Oh, I'm looking at myself crazy because I'm trying to figure out if I did my face right. Anyway, that doesn't matter. And this would have petrified me in my boots. Because why did he didn't lie once. He lied twice. To be fair, the girls shouldn't have trusted him the second time. But he lied twice. He's a walking... He's a serial killer, you guys. He's gonna murder you. But you know, Faith is all torn up by this and they're crying or whatever. You know, it's time for us to go our separate ways. Last relationship. I'm kidding. I don't know that whole song. I don't even know the part that I was trying to sing. But they're going their separate ways. Everybody's getting ready to go onto their plane and go back to where they came from. And while this is happening, Larry comes because he noticed that his wife was in Italy. And he was like, listen, I made a mistake. I love you. I miss you. And she's like, yeah. Because before this even happened, Giovanni just like drove off. And she just never saw him again. And she was like, yeah, that's probably how that should end. And I guess her and Larry are back together now. Don't know if Larry did the work to, you know, be a little bit better, but I hope so. I mean, this is just how the story is written. Anyway, while she's talking to Larry, Larry's like, David Bradley isn't real. I made that whole thing up. And she's like, what? Yep, I made the whole thing up. Then we're going to go back to Faith's perspective. Faith is getting ready to board her plane. So is Peter. But then over the intercom, they say, Damon Bradley, come to da-da-da-da. They both start rushing. And then they see Damon Bradley. And Damon Bradley is a person who almost looks like Will Ferrell. And I can't describe him beyond that. And he's just confused. And Peter's going on about, well, I hope you guys have a nice life. And then he dramatically walks away or whatever. And she's like, oh, no, not she. Damon Bradley's like, well, do you love him? And then she's like, oh my gosh, I love him. Then she runs on the plane. They kiss. And this is the end of the story. So here are my final thoughts. Peter is kind of crazy. So is Faith. Like, Faith is crazy in like a spontaneous type of way. I don't think it's as problematic as Peter, because just Peter did this all off a girl he met one time, spent 1 hour with. Like, it's actually crazy. Faith is crazy as well. She called off her engagement because of this fortune that happened when she was little. Obviously she was obsessed with it. Kate, I loved Kate's character, actually. I felt like she was really well written. The only thing I didn't like was her getting with Larry. I think she should have just probably been by herself for a little bit. But, you know, they were like, no, they're going to get back together. But I'm pretty sure Kate said he was being cheating. So, you know, it was the 90s. It was a different era. Anyway, you guys, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want more movie commentary stuff, just let me know. All right?